You guys don't understand how much the 49ers love Upton Stout. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Man Hold Up. I don't know why it's called that, but it is. That's Alex Frankel. I'm Grant Cohn. I'm down here at Levi's. The assistant coaches just spoke. They speak twice a year, like the position coaches. Once during OTAs, once today. So it was an hour. I'll tell you what happened. Chris Kasarik wasn't there. So we didn't get to ask about Michael Williams, Alfred Collins, CJ West. Just remember that. No Chris Kasarik. So the person who got the most praise today was one young Upton Stout. I didn't understand that the Niners were this high on Upton Stout, but he is the starting nickel. There's no competition. And they have this story. I'll tell you, this is an incredible story. They just found this out. So apparently Upton Stout is like so motivated to be the best nickelback of all time. They give out teach tape here. Like, hey, this is how it's supposed to look. And in this scheme, the guy they show a lot in nickel is K1 Williams. Mm-hmm. So Upton Stout during OTAs reached out to K1 Williams on Instagram.
Oh shit, really?
Already. And they know each other. And he's been picking K1 Williams' brain in addition to Diamador Lenore. Like, he's that serious about getting this right that he's already really good friends with K1 Williams. And as a result, Daniel Bullocks, who's been the DB coach for a while here, was referring to Upton Stout as great. He's like, and that's why he's great. That's why he's great. So whether he is or not, the coaches are sold on Upton Stout. What do you think of that?
I mean, it helps that the dude put up 225 on the bench like 24 times at the combine. And when you combine an attitude that he has with like reaching out to former 49ers players to be like, how did I play this position under this coach? Dude was a third round pick. I'm here for it. Bring it. Like, shit, we need that energy on our team. We have too many well-paid veterans who don't care that much.
It's just interesting to like see which young guys are really super driven, because all the great players in the NFL usually are maniacal like this, like being they don't want to just be good or get a second contract. They have this drive to be the best. And there are certain people in life like that. Jerry Rice was like that. Steve Young was like that. George Kittle's like that. Christian McCaffrey's like that. And, you know, maybe once a draft class, you get a guy like that. Maybe once every few draft classes. You don't know who it's going to be. Michael Williams has every opportunity. Alfred Collins, they have a lot of talent. But so far, it seems like the rookie who has impressed the coaches the most is the 5'8" dude.
Is that not the guy you want leading your defense?
They called him a leader. Daniel Bullocks is like, yeah, he leads in his own way. What do you mean he leads what are you talking about? How good is this guy? I mean, I'm impressed with him in practice, but I feel like I'm not a coach. I don't exactly see what he's going to fully bring to the table. I see his coverage, but they're talking about him in terms of his assignments, his violence, his everything. Mm-hmm. Okay, I believe you.
I mean, remember his phone call when the Niners called him to let him know they drafted him. The dude's, to quote an individual who's not so loved in San Francisco by the front office anymore, but Upton Stout really lives that who's got it better than us, nobody attitude.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
He is Jim Harbaugh on a 5'8" DB, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I think he's the kind of guy where, like, when the Niners drafted him in round 3, I think a lot of teams around the league were like, "Ooh, nice, we like him too." I think he impressed a lot of teams, and it's just like which team was going to be brave enough to take a 5'8" cornerback, because he can't play outside and he's not a safety, so you got to really commit to the nickel spot with him, and it seems like the Niners are.
Based on the 49ers trajectory of drafting injured players with long injury histories, I would rather take the undersized, super strong, enthusiastic guy who has no injury history than the alternative. Like, bring it. Like, if they're that excited, I cannot wait to see what he looks like on the field, because that type of honey badger mentality is something that is missing. And it's going to be really funny if he turns into the Dre Greenlaw of the defense. If the smallest guy on the defense turns into the enforcer after going from scariest person on the team, Dre Greenlaw, that's going to be really fun to watch. The question then turns into how many years can he do this? But when it's good, it'll be good.
the difference between media and coaches. Like the media, we're all going gaga over CJ West. And maybe CJ West is the best rookie. I don't know, but it's possible that he's just whooping Drake Nugent's ass every day. You know what I mean? It's possible that he's just going up against backup centers and making them look like backup centers. Upton Stout is starting. CJ West is out there with the third stringers a lot of the time in 11-on-11s, which I don't know. That seems silly. Like, I don't know why they're doing that, but with Upton Stout, they're not messing around with Upton Stout. He has impressed them. They're reinforcing what he's done and telling stories like already like he's established the lore of Upton Stout. I don't know. Usually coaches want to pump the brakes and not crown a rookie before the first preseason game. So when they do, I pay attention. Like, damn. Okay.
I have a thought, and this might be some irresponsible speculation, so I don't want to get you in trouble, but do we think that they're heaping all of this effusive praise onto Upton Stout? This is so conspiracy theory minded. Do we think the position coaches love him so much because he was drafted by the scouting department and not by Kyle? And they want to reinforce, hey, when we let the guys who this is their job to pick the talent do their fucking job and give us the players that we actually want, here's the result of it. Cough, cough, wink, wink.
Hold on. No, it's a great question. And I like the conspiracy theory angle. I'm going to take a different direction. I don't think the scouting department picked Upton Stout. I think the scouting department takes over. I think this was Saleh, and Daniel Bullocks was the one going crazy about Upton Stout. I bet you Daniel Bullocks had a big say in this. I think the position coaches are heavily involved in the evaluation process, especially in the first 3 rounds. And I bet you he liked him coming out, and I bet you he's like reinforced all the things he already liked. I bet you Daniel Bullocks, when he was raving, was almost praising himself for identifying him in the first place. Him and Saleh. It's a theory.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
If it gets
anyway,
me
I can't wait to watch him because I think what's going to pop most about Upton Stout during the preseason game this Saturday is his tackling, which is exciting. He's a 5'8" DB, and you think, okay, he's going to be super good in coverage. Yes, but what's going to make Upton Stout famous, if he becomes famous, is the way he hits. And I'm always down for a DB who's trying to be the most violent player on the field.
Yeah. It's fun. This is the land of Ronnie Lott. Like it's not legal in the game anymore, but man, it's great to see a woo hit every once in a while.
And if you're 5'8", you might be able to get away with it because you're so small. Yeah. It's like, look, that was violent, but he's 5'8". He's allowed to do that.
I'm just imagining him laying MHJ out when they play Arizona, just over the middle, boom. Him and Malik Mustafa in the same secondary is going to be real fun.
I'm excited to see Upton Stout hit James Conner. Like, I want to see him like hit a big fullback, running back. Like, let's see what you got, man. You're 5'8", 1 something. He's not going to hesitate at all, man. He's going to decleat someone way bigger than him, and people are he's going to be legend.
Has he had any one-on-ones against Kittle?
No, he hasn't, which is interesting because Jimmy Ward used to take one-on-ones against Kittle. Tomorrow, I'm going to watch just tight ends and running backs against safeties and the one-on-ones and linebackers because I want to see what Christian's up to also. All right, more news. This is from Albert Breer. So he was here 3 days ago on August 1st. I saw him here. We both work for Sports Illustrated. And I was curious, like, when a guy like Albert Breer comes to an organization, he's not just there to watch practice and leave. He knows someone. And he's going to talk to someone. So he was here to talk to someone. So I read his article, and where's the nugget? Boom, when he talks about Purdy, he says, Purdy with the $265 million man, when you give a quarterback a deal like that, there's a toll to pay, and generally it means more will be foisted on that guy's shoulders. Purdy understands that. He also got to a point last year where, admittedly, he tried to do too much to combat the rash of injuries that took down so many of the pieces around him. His coaches gave him cut-ups to illustrate it in the spring, which is to say that last year set him up for what he'll be faced in the future going forward, blah, 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 blah. Coaches gave him cut-ups in the spring of him doing too much. One, good. That's coaching. I'm glad.
Good.
And good. That's why I harp on the interceptions in practice. It's like, man, that's the one thing you need to work on, dude. Not doing too much. So I asked Mick Lombardi, the new quarterback coach, about it, and he was like, that's between me and Brock. That's between me and Brock. I'm like, man, Apparently it's between you, Brock, and Albert Breer. So I don't know, but yeah, so he didn't really provide any more insight on that. What do you think of the Niners talking to Brock, showing Brock, trying to make this a point of emphasis?
I feel like this is the point in the offseason where something like this is turned into a bigger deal than it actually is. But it's nice to have the confirmation that it actually fucking happened. Sorry, it actually happened. Like, there is someone in that building that is self-aware enough to say, these are the mistakes. Here's how we're going to fix it. I would love to be a fly on a wall with Kyle and Brock and Mick Lombardi talking about Brock's play last year. And I would love to see how much of that Kyle takes onto himself, where like, yeah, Brock did too much. But if you look at the situations that he was put in pretty consistently last year, like even with having Kittle and Jennings, the offensive line was Swiss cheese, and he's trying to earn that contract on a team that's very clearly broken and not going to make the playoffs. So it makes sense to me that he did too much for the majority of the season. I mean, we all watched it happen. What else was he going to do? He got too far out of the offense and out of the system. And it was nice to see that Kyle didn't pigeonhole him too much into taking all of his improvisational ability out of his game, which is something that makes him special. And that was something that I was really worried about over the evolution of his time with Kyle, if we were going to see that become less and less of his game. The pendulum swung way too far in the opposite direction, and it seems like they're going to get that under control. And I do have faith in Brock, less so Kyle, that he will find the best parts of that ability to infuse back into the game with whoever the new Avengers is going to be.
I agree. I think why this is an interesting topic is because it's like the best and the worst thing about Brock. You know what I mean? Like, you want him to extend plays. You don't want him to be a robot in the pocket. He has this incredible 10-yard burst. He's elusive. He has to use that part of his game. And yet he used it too much last year. He was like almost irresponsible. So as he gets older and more experienced, he'll get a better feel for like the balance of executing and being a playmaker. And I think it's helpful that they're reinforcing, hey man, you tried to do too much. You need to play within yourself. You gave away some games late last year that, frankly, we would have won if you hadn't done these things. Your number one job is to not hurt the team. And once you do that, then you can try to help us with your big plays.
Right.
But at the same time, like, they can't turn him into Mac Jones, because as much as I like Mac Jones so far, there is a reason why Brock is a starter and Mac isn't. And it has a lot to do with the mobility.
This is something that you and I disagree on about Brock Purdy, is that he's small. Brock is smaller in stature than like a Justin
He's not
Herbert.
Kyler.
Not Kyler. Not Kyler. Who's bigger,
Kyler.
Upton Stout or Kyler?
Yeah. I'd love to see him side by side. It might be Upton.
We know who'd win in a head-to-head to Call of Duty, though. But anyway, Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts are the same size. Almost like same size, same weight.
I know they're listed at the same. I just feel like they look
Hurts
different.
Definitely a better athletic specimen. Like Hurts squats like 600 pounds or something ridiculous like that.
Brock's got thighs too, though.
Brock's got those mini Bosa thighs.
Mini Bosa thighs.
It's funny how the Giants had Buster Posey and then his evil twin Joe Panic, and the 49ers have Nick Bosa's quads and Brock Purdy's quads.
It's true.
But it's very interesting here seeing the cut-ups with Albert Breer, this story dropping, Brock's running ability, what Brock has said multiple times this offseason now in regards to Steve Young wanting him to incorporate more of the run game into his game. And it's very interesting. I can't quote it off the top of my head, hearing what Brock has to say about that, where he's like, this is only something I want to do if it's the last resort. If I'm running, it means I haven't gotten the ball to my guys who can get more yards after the catch than I can, blah, 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 blah. Can we incorporate more of Brock's ability to run the ball into the game? Can the 49ers do it without risking his injury? Could the 49ers, I mean, they can't because they don't have the offensive line, but could the 49ers have their own adaptation of the tush push? Again, since Brock and Jalen Hurts are the same size, but Jake Brendel can't run that play. It'll be interesting to see the evolution of Brock now this year with McCaffrey back and a new batch of weapons, and how the running ability will play into playing within the structure of the offense.
What I want to see from Brock, and I talk about it in practice too, I want to see him I want him to stop hunting big plays. I feel like every once in a while in a game last year, I feel like I got to make something happen right now. And he would roll left and roll right and hold the ball a long time. And I started to lose confidence in him when he would do that. Like, man, you are forcing something that's not there right now. And I understood why he was kind of trying to do it, but ultimately that's not the way he should play. That's not the way Jaden Daniels plays. Jaden Daniels is very decisive. He either throws the ball quickly or he runs the ball quickly. There's not these, like Caleb Williams is the indecisive guy who holds the ball for 12 seconds. You don't need to be Caleb Williams. I don't think that's, as you get older, you should be getting, more decisive, not less decisive. Right. So that's what I want to see from him. And I think that's, I don't know. It's good that the backup is like that. Like, hey man, if you don't do it, guess who freaking will? That guy.
I want to see Brock run the ball like Patrick Mahomes does. Only when it's absolutely necessary to either make a play to get a first down or win the fucking game.
And I want to say something else to that. What's nice about Kansas City and the way they use Mahomes as a runner, they'll protect him all year, but when they really need a play, it's not just Mahomes taking matters into his own hands and scrambling. They will absolutely call runs. They called a zone read in the overtime of the Super Bowl against the Niners that kind of won the game for them. And we've never seen Kyle call something like that for Brock Purdy ever, which is strange to me because I think he definitely has the burst to be effective on a zone read if it's 4th and 2. Yeah. So I just want to say, without getting in trouble, they've been doing some stuff along those lines here and there at practice. And it's encouraging to me because I think it's a good way to incorporate his legs without asking him to, do it all by himself or make those decisions all by himself.
I also think it's going to be interesting to see what this offense looks like with real speed for once. The 49ers have never had a fast offense.
Even Ayuk wasn't super fast.
No. And like Raheem Mostert was a burner, but he wasn't much of a receiving threat when he was with us. And we've never had, like, Debo was fast with the ball in his hands, but he wasn't a threat off the line. Like, there is a legitimate shot that we have 4 guys that can run in the 4-3s on the field at the same time next season. And Brock's never had that in his pro career.
No. B&A established 1988 says, Eli Apple is a good sign for you, Grant. His uncle is Michael Blackson from Next Friday, and he goes to games. Get jiggly with this ish modosoka. I remember that. That scene in Next Friday. Next Friday is the worst of the Friday movies, but it has some incredibly funny moments, I would say. But that's just my opinion on the Friday franchise. Brock and Hurts in a thigh off.
Ooh.
Dude, Brock's thighs are underrated. Pause. I can't say stuff like that, man. You should be mad at me if I say stuff like that.
Alfred Collins is long. Pause.
So I gotta. Speaking of Alfred Collins, so the one guy everyone wanted to talk to, like this again, this is the day where we talk to the position coaches. Chris Kasarik wasn't here. I've never heard of why. Anyway, you know how I get with my conspiracy theories. Oh, they don't want him to talk about Michael. Anyway, he wasn't here, but I'm thinking he's got a big project in front of him with Alfred Collins in particular. Michael Williams too. I mean, both guys are really impressive athletes who are figuring it out to be nice as pass rushers. They got some work to do as pass rushers. Who do you think would be a better coach for these guys? Chris Kasarik or Jim Tomsula?
So who did Jim Tomsula have to work with when he was the D-line coach of the 49ers when we were good? Ahmad Brooks, Quentin Dial, Ray McDonald, Justin Smith, Alden Smith. Man, we even had Glenn Dorsey for a hot second. The 49ers defensive line those years was spectacular.
Ricky Jean-Francois.
Oh, Ricky Jean-Francois. Who else?
Ray McDonald. Isaac Sopowaga.
I
mean, they were all
Franklin.
Good. Yeah.
Ian Williams, who unfortunately his career was
Ian Williams was really good.
Ian Williams was really good. He just couldn't stay healthy, which is unfortunate because we never got to see how good he could be.
He was like the original CJ West.
Yeah. And so Chris Kasarik has been here for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got
seven. He wasn't here for the first 2.
So we've got Nick Bosa. We can't give him credit for that, really. We've got Eric Armstead. Can't really give him credit for that one either. Buckner, can't give him credit. D Ford was a trade. He did a good job. Wait, who?
Never mind.
Did you say Greenlaw?
Greenlaw.
At least
That was the
Kinlaw's a
first
rich
project
man.
he was supposed to. Yeah, that one didn't work out. But they're injuries. They're factors.
Kinlaw
Beat
didn't
writers
work.
who got
Solomon Thomas.
Yeah,
No, that
didn't
wasn't really
happen.
him.
Yeah.
Who else? He did have some success with the guy from the
Kalia
Raiders.
Davis.
Clemson.
Javon Hargrave didn't. Yeah.
Arden Key.
He hasn't really
Arden Key was
developed
sort
any
of
young
success
guys.
Story. No.
Yeah. No.
Like, where is the development? What does he do except for scream? He gets so much credit and so much leeway on this team, but like, what has he really produced that he didn't inherit or luck into in a player like Nick Bosa?
I got more I want to say. His front is a gimmick front. There's a reason most teams don't run the wide nine, and I think it's good against certain opponents in certain matchups. Teams that don't have a mobile quarterback, one-back offenses, teams with a quarterback who really likes to throw the ball. Wide nine's great against that guy, but against the Eagles, what is it? What's the wide nine going to do against a team with a quarterback who's also a rushing threat? You probably need 5 guys on the line of scrimmage, and I just want to say that again, without revealing too much, they're doing some stuff like that with 3 defensive tackles on the field, which it's like, thank you. I think that's sort of what you get when you get Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley back. Like, this isn't just the Chris Kasarik show anymore. He plays a part. Yeah.
Without revealing too much, just like with your eyes, tell like the 3D tackles. Is it on the nose Collins?
No. West. Now,
West is on the nose.
There's all different waves of this, and we'll see exactly what the configuration would be. But if they get into a 5-man front, their nose tackle is going to be CJ West, because that's what he played in college.
Interesting.
That was his position in college. Nose tackle in a 5-man front. Collins could be a D tackle next to him. Elliott could be a D tackle next to him. Those could be the 2 guys. Elliott's bigger. Or it could be Michael Williams, depending on the down.
Okay. Yeah. Like really, like what has Kasarik done? Like, Sam Aquinu looked decent last season, but nothing really came of it. You know, he's no development at all for Robert.
He gave Arden Key second life. That's what he'll take a guy who's kind of struggling, maybe a former first-round pick who's not really an edge rusher, and be like, "Oh, bring him over here, and we'll put him at D tackle on pass rush downs." He did that with Arden Key, did it with Charles Menahue, and it's worked a little bit. But I feel like doing that when you have Nick Bosa kind of helps too.
I mean, listen, it's the more athletic D end is going to beat a guard on a passing down. It's just going to happen. Like, that is a pretty foolproof way to get around it. But like, really,
whereas like Tom Sula would create 3-down complete D linemen, complete D linemen.
The Vic Fangio era, I remember this ended up being a huge issue later on in their tenure. But when the 49ers went to the Super Bowl in 2012, their D line, they spent most of their time in nickel, and their D line was Aldon Smith, Justin Smith, Ray McDonald, and Ahmad Brooks. And those guys almost never came off the field.
Right.
Which, like, that's its own issue, but they were unbelievable. And the stunts that they would run with Justin Smith and Aldon Smith alone, I mean, unstoppable. But like, they almost
never had to blitz.
Right. They never had to blitz. And Willis and Bowman were clean on every single play. And that was with a 4-man front in nickel, which they spent the majority of their time in. And like, you know, I loved the NASCAR package and all of the rotations that we had in 2019. But again, if you don't have 4 guys that you can just keep on the field and keep kicking ass for the whole game, like, what does the rotation even matter? Like, come on. We want to keep them fresh, but if the guys that are coming in aren't developed at all and are just going to be terrible, then what's the point?
I don't understand what they're trying to do with Alfred Collins. I feel like if you gave Alfred Collins to Jim Tom Sula, he would have that guy, you know, playing to his strengths, great run defender, and I don't know, pushing the pocket a little bit as a pass rusher. Chris Kasarik's trying to get him to be like more explosive off the snap. He's not explosive off the snap. I mean, that was the book on him, and now you're saying, well, he's got to learn how to really get off the line of scrimmage. Can you really teach that? And if you can't,
if you haven't learned that
what's the
now,
marriage going to be?
Right. If you haven't figured that out by now, where Alfred Collins has been playing at least 6 years of football in his life, like, we just need him to take up space in the middle anyway. Like, Alfred Collins, even though he was a 2nd-round pick, will be an incredible draft pick for us if he is pot roast in the middle of that line and can eat up double teams. If he can slow down the Eagles' offensive line, then Alfred Collins is worth it. Yeah. I don't need him to be a pass rusher. I just need him to be locked down on 1st and 2nd down.
Well, it's funny. Like if you look at his upside, like what he could potentially become if everything goes right and the coach does well, it's Chris Jones.
Yeah.
That's what the Niners have wanted ever since he whooped their ass in the first Super Bowl and then did it again in the second Super Bowl. They're obsessed with having a 3 technique who's like 6'6" and overpowering, like Chris Jones. And maybe, I mean, they wanted it to be Kinlaw. It wasn't. Maybe it'll be Alfred Collins, but man, he's got a long way to go. It's kind of long. But again, the good news is that go back and look at Chris Jones's stats in college. He didn't put up many of them.
Right. I mean,
Great player,
Collins
though.
has all the tools. Is he motivated enough, and is Kasarik the right coach to do it?
We'll see. Bryson says, do you think we will lose a game from special teams?
Yes.
Everyone does. But if it's Greg Joseph instead of Jake Moody, I'll feel better because Greg Joseph looks pretty mediocre, which is good. All right.
I don't want to kick a single field goal this entire year. Just
field goals are lame.
Field goals are lame.
I feel like the NFL would be better if they just narrowed the uprights. Like, yeah, you could kick it if you want, but it's a really narrow. It's like the XFL, like the Arena League.
Right.
That's better. Like, who wants to attempt a 50-yard field goal now?
And we never would have had to suffer through a minute of Jake Moody if we had a smaller field goal.
All right. So I've been thinking a lot about Trey Lance and Jim Harbaugh. I love the idea of it. I hope it goes well. But then over here in Santa Clara, you got Mac Jones and Kyle Shanahan. A very similar situation. Mac's on his 3rd team in 3 years. And he seems like he's found the right team for him. He's in a good spot. Then you got Zach Wilson from the same draft class. He got chewed up and spit out, but now he's on his 3rd team and he's with Mike McDaniel in Miami. And you got Justin Fields with Aaron Glenn starting for the Jets. Those were the 4 quarterbacks taken after Trevor Lawrence in that COVID draft. They all were massive busts, but as we've learned, sometimes you can write off quarterbacks too soon. Which one of these reclamation projects will be most successful in your opinion?
I want to say Trey Lance because he's still the youngest out of all of them, isn't he?
Yes.
I want to say Trey Lance. I think realistically it will be Mac Jones. But the dichotomy of both situations is so fascinating. Because on one hand, you have Kyle, who is not known for instilling confidence into his quarterbacks at all. In fact, his trademark is breaking their confidence and running them out of town. And then you have Harbaugh. We all know what Harbaugh does with quarterbacks. But it's interesting seeing Mac feeling so comfortable and thriving with the 49ers, much like Darnold did, and the success that then translated into. Because what's probably going to happen with Mac is unless something catastrophic happens for the 49ers, he will maybe play one game, hopefully, one game at the end of the year. We've already won the division and we have a number 1 seed. But then we'll go to another team at the end of that contract within this same system and probably have success.
Yeah, it's fair to project him as a starting quarterback in 2 years when that contract's up. Because look at Darnold did like nothing for the 49ers and was signed to be a starter with Minnesota based off his knowledge of the system.
Right. With Lance, it's a very different situation because Lance has more physical tools than Jones did, but with, I don't know, a couple thousand fewer career snaps, infinitely less experience, and a way worse situation that he fell into. The problem is he going to get enough reps to actually show the league that he's worthy of another job unless Harbaugh has some absolutely insane, no way it's going to happen master plan to trade Justin Herbert and go cheap at the quarterback position.
He did it once upon a time with Alex Smith, but yes.
I mean, as soon as
Justin Herbert had that 4-pick game, it made me wonder because, like, that's the one thing you can't do under Harbaugh. He's cool with you being a game manager, but you start throwing multiple picks, he'll look at you like, "Why are you single-handedly losing this game for us? Why?"
Listen, if there was ever a team or a franchise to trade away their franchise quarterback, it's the Chargers because they don't have enough fans to care,
and they don't have any money.
No, so I could see it happening. It would not be a smart move. That would be genuinely insane, but it would be interesting to see what Lance could do starting like 5 or 6 games with Harbaugh.
Yep.
And those weapons. I mean, Ladd McConkey alone, but like, I think Keandre Lambert-Smith is going to be a stud this year. That's a good wide receiver core. They're young, but like, that's a good core.
What about Justin Fields? I feel like he's the one starting this year. The offensive coordinator comes from Detroit. He was with Ben Johnson. He got his start at the University of San Diego under Harbaugh, which is interesting. I just feel like the Jets are such a bad organization that I kind of feel for like when Mac Jones gets his next chance to be a starter, presumably in 2 years, it'll hopefully be on a team that's better than the Jets. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fact that Justin Fields had to get his third shot on the Jets kind of feels like he's already set up for failure. Not that he's that great.
From a selfish perspective, I have Garrett Wilson in fantasy, and I would like Garrett Wilson to have a big year.
Yeah,
What's that?
Yeah, good luck with that.
I know. Yeah. It's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Then there's Zach Wilson. What about Zach Wilson? Him and McDaniel? That's
which franchise is more of a poverty franchise, though? The Dolphins or the Jets? I mean, come on.
Jets.
I mean, yeah, the Jets. The Jets.
Good question.
The Dolphins are just the Jets with better weather.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if he could do what he did with Tua was kind of, I mean, Tua didn't lose that much, but Flores thought Tua sucked. And then McDaniel came over there and got Tua somewhat confident. Zach Wilson's a little bit like Mac Jones. I don't know. Maybe he's a little bit like Purdy. He can run. And in college, a lot of his highlights were him running around, making plays. And now he's got a really good scheme. I don't know. He was under Sean Payton last year.
I think
Zach Wilson.
I think Quinn.
He's married. He's no longer chasing Mills. I'm just saying.
Quinn Ewers is going to be the starter in Miami by the end of the year.
Quinn Ewers?
Quinn Ewers is going to be the starter in Miami by the end of the year. I really don't want to watch Tua die on a football field, but I have a bad feeling that we are going to see that happen.
I hope not.
I hope not. I don't want to see that. I wish he was smarter about his brain. It's really unfortunate. That's the other thing that's insane to me about Miami is like when you see just how much your team falls off without Tua, how do you not spend literally all of your money on getting him the best possible offensive line you can? Like, what?
Yeah.
If Tua were a 49er, Kyle would have gotten him killed.
Yeah. Well, look, I feel like it's fair to I think Mac Jones is going to be a starter in 2 years. I wonder if Trey Lance will be a starter in a couple of years too, because I mean, look how Alex Smith's career took off. He was with Harbaugh for 2 years, and then Andy Reid wanted him, and he had like a pretty successful career for 4 or 5 years with Andy Reid. I mean, I could see Trey Lance if Jim Harbaugh can just rehabilitate him a little bit, and maybe they keep Justin Herbert because he's so great, he could go somewhere else and just like Mac Jones.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have the stench of his failure with the Niners on him anymore.
Right. And again, his failure with the Niners was not his fault. Like that was just a ridiculous. Kyle did him so dirty. Kyle did him so unbelievably dirty. And just like, even besides the injuries, he was never going to get a fair shake. As soon as they went back because of the veterans on the team wanting Jimmy over Trey, it was doomed. You can't go back from that.
Yeah. If you remember, like Kyle really wanted to make a change at quarterback, but he's not the strongest. It's not like he just comes in and say it's my way or the highway. So a lot of veterans in the team are like, hey, we like Jimmy Garoppolo. And Kyle's like, okay, well, what if we do like a 2 quarterback system? What if we like remember they had a joint practice with the Chargers, and they had Drew Brees come and talk to both of them about the merits of a 2 quarterback system because he had done one with Taysom Hill, and they both sat there and listened to him like it was going to happen. And then they did it in the first drive of the season. Jimmy takes him down the field. Trey finishes it, and they never did that shit again because I don't think they liked it, or someone didn't like it. It doesn't
work. There's a reason why it's never worked and it's never been done before. Like
if I were a coach, first thing I would do, 2 quarterback system.
Yeah. Why not make it 3 quarterbacks?
Just give the organization a reason to fire me real fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 3 quarterbacks, 7 offensive linemen.
You never know who's going to throw the ball on my team.
Right. Could be anybody.
Same. I think it'd be pretty good. If we made the playoffs, what would be the reason? What would be the reason we lost?
Kyle. It's the reason every time.
That's true. They want Michael to be Chris Jones because use Jones at DN. Yeah, but Jones is 310 pounds. I don't think Michael Williams is going to be Chris Jones. He got a long way. Maybe he could be. I don't know. I don't see that though. Anyway, I don't have much more to talk about today. The Knights have practice tomorrow and the next day. Then Wednesday's off. Thursday's a joint practice with the Broncos. Friday off, and then Saturday's a preseason football game. I'm excited.
2 questions. What happened with Juszczyk and Garendo yesterday?
See, we don't know yet. When you ask assistant coaches what happened, they're like, "Oh, you got to talk to the trainers." I think the head coach tells him like, if anyone's going to reveal anything about injuries, it's going to be me. So Kyle's talks tomorrow. We'll find out about that. And it's annoying because it used to be that like the head coach would talk every other day.
Right.
They're throwing Brant Boyer in the mix, and how many questions could you possibly have for the special team? Like, we just got you. So anyway, that feels like a way for him not to reveal injuries, which is annoying.
Okay. What's your eye test on Corey Kiner look like?
He looks like he runs very hard, which is, he looks tough. He looks like he's instinctual. Looks like he has good vision. He's not super fast, but he runs really hard. So he seems like he runs really fast. I don't know. Like, they're trying to replace Jordan Mason, who was big. And this guy is not big. He's like 5'8", but he runs bigger than his size. I'm sure he could be I don't really question Bobby Turner. I think Bobby Turner found him. He knows what he's looking for. He's a good fit. I don't know if he'll be special and transcendent, but I'm sure he could rush for 5 yards of carry in the system, probably.
Probably. Any updates on the Jordan James injury?
No.
Okay.
No. Updates, though. Ben Bartch going to be starting at left at guard. They said that Nick Sakel had a shot, and he just wasn't that impressive, essentially. And then at weak side linebacker, they've given D. Winters his shot, and he still hasn't taken the job yet, essentially, is what the Johnny Holland said. So sounds like they're hoping Nick Martin takes it. He hasn't done so yet like Upton Stout has. Okay. That's where they're at.
How's he looking by the eye test?
To me, it's hard to judge a linebacker in practice because you kind of want to see how they hit and tackle. Right. And they don't really do very much of that. So he hasn't. Winters has 2 picks. Martin has none. But that's not any way to judge a linebacker. Yeah. So I'm just going to say that I have a tough time with linebackers and running backs. Those 2 positions, I think, are the hardest position to judge without tackling.
Yeah,
because the running back's ultimate job is to break the tackle.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Let's talk about McCaffrey for a second. How does he look? Like what? Because hilariously enough, he's the only fully healthy running back right now. Like you were saying during OTAs, that it looked like his third gear wasn't really there. Are you starting to see him kicking into that more? Like
no, he seems like a guy who's 29, who's trying to protect himself. He looks good. He's out there most days. But 2 years ago in 2023, which was his first, he's done 2 training camps. Yeah. Not last year, he got traded mid-season the first year. So 2023 and this year. 2023, he was so obviously going to win Offensive Player of the Year. It was so obvious. It was like, oh, he's way better than Debo. He's way better than Kittle. He's the best player. Like every day there'd be plays you're like, wow, that was incredible. But with him now, I think it's just like, he ran the ball. They don't like they'll throw him a screen pass. There's just not the same jaw-dropping plays, and maybe he'll kick it into gear when it counts. Yeah, I don't know if that gear exists anymore. I guess we'll have to see. Okay. At a certain point, when you get older, you lose the gear.
Oh yeah. Did you see Debo's interview on NFL Network yesterday?
Loved it.
Oh my God. Like, oh yeah, by the way.
That was so weird.
That was so weird.
Debo hey, I was going to give you a handshake, but your finger's messed up. I wasn't supposed to say that. Oh.
I'll give you a fist bump anyway.
It's like, no, I don't want to touch you. Corey Hyde says, which offensive rookie do you think will help us the most this season? Maybe the wide receiver. They're so thin at wide receiver. Maybe Kiner. I mean, if Garendo's hurt, James is already hurt. Kiner could make the team. They go through running backs. Yeah. This isn't the question. I asked the DB coach. Why am I forgetting his name? Who's the DB coach again?
Jesus. Daniel Bullock.
Bullock's DB. And he liked Jacob Robinson. Says he's fast, good athlete, smart, hasn't played corner before, but learning the position, sticky in coverage. Go ahead. He went to BYU. He's an undrafted free agent, ran like a 4.3. He's 5'10". He needs to put on like 10 pounds of muscle, but my favorite undrafted free agent. Okay. And I'm glad that Bullock likes him too.
I mean, we need corners. The corner position's looking brutal right now.
Goober89's been a member for 30 months. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Nice.
What you got going on the rest of the day?
It's finally nice out in New York City, so I'm gonna take the dog to the park and hang out in Prospect Park and bake.
That's nice. It's a good park.
It's a good park.
It's a good park.
It's a good park.
Yeah. Well,
can't beat it.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to hang around Santa Clara, see what this town has to offer. You know what I mean? I got to be back here tomorrow.
Go smell the slows in Milpitas.
Whew. Milpitas is a nice place.
Milpitas, baby.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Alex, good stuff.